The other day, I listened to Kendrick Lamar, and as I thought about ways to branch out and grow my content on this channel, I decided to listen to all of Kendrick's songs and pick out the best ones. Something happened though as I started cutting down songs, tossing them off the list, bringing the next one in the list, and listening to more of his music. I found that his best song is not an easy option. And I'm not saying my favorite one, I'm saying his best, because those are different. My favorite was Money Trees, but I found his best to be between two songs, and these two songs are some of his highest rated music out there. And that is Sing About Me I'm Dying of Thirst from Good Kid Mad City, and Wesley's Theory from T-Pab. And that sparked me to this idea where I talk about each song individually and talk about where I think one song beats the other one. So let's get off into Sing About Me I'm Dying of Thirst first. So Sing About Me I'm Dying of Thirst is a very, very simple beat, but the underlying emotion and meaning behind it is really incredible. The first verse is in perspective of Dave's brother. And we found out earlier in Good Kid Mad City that Dave's brother got shot and Kendrick was holding him as Dave's brother died. In this verse, Dave is showing off all of the love and appreciation he has for Kendrick and how good of a person Kendrick has been to him. He finishes his verse from Dave's perspective by singing, "And if I die before your album drop, I hope," but is cut off by gunshots. This alludes to the death of Dave's brother and Dave himself, and just shows how brutal and harsh Compton. And the chorus comes in saying that when it's my turn to die, sing about me, and he's literally doing that for Dave and Dave's brother. And then in verse 2, he's talking about Keisha's sister. He wrote a song from Section 80 called Keisha's Song. And in Keisha's sister's perspective, verse 2, he's singing about all the things she has to do to stay alive, prostitution, and how she's now another victim of the game. And again, Kendrick ends his verse off with what are some of the best lyrics in this album. She talks about how she'll never fade away, but as she keeps going, she fades away until she's nothing. And that just represents how much she's going to become a known name in Compton and just become another prostitute. And then in the final verse of the first half of the song, we get Kendrick's perspective and Kendrick's kind of answer to these last two verses. He sings about how much of a brother Dave was to him, and then he sings about Keisha, kind of reassures Keisha's sister that he's not doing this to bash her or anything or to say prostitution's bad. He's doing this to remember them, to sing about them after they're dead because they no longer have a voice. And as we get towards the end of the verse, we start hearing Kendrick become more vulnerable. After he sings about all the people he's seen die or damaged by Compton, he comes back to himself and asks, "Have I done enough to be remembered?" And that line is so heavy. He sings, "And hope that at least one of you sing about me when I'm gone. And am I worth it? Did I put enough work in?" Kendrick has sung about all these people before him, all people that has been damaged, but will someone sing for him? Has he remembered enough people and honored them enough in the right way that people will do the same for him? It's a really, really heavy, loaded question, and it's a perfect ending to the first half of the song. The second half of the song is a little bit more straightforward. It's about how Kendrick and his friends are sick and tired of Compton, and they need to find some sort of savior, some sort of thirst, some sort of water to quench their thirst. This is where Kendrick pinpoints his relationship to God developing even more, because we hear an older lady talk about that they need holy water, that they need God to quench their thirst and help them get rid of all of the bad things that are happening in Compton and get out. This song is a different level of song, and this is why I'm talking about it today. If you were to walk up to me and say this is his best song, I would have no argument against it. The way Kendrick talks about people and from their perspective and understanding how they feel and what their thoughts are and how they'd want to be remembered is something that I have never really seen or thought about. Like, the more I read about this song, the more I heard it, the more I looked into it, just the deeper level of appreciation I developed for this song. And it was going to take a banger of a song to contest with that. and that is the first song off T-Pab, Wesley's Theory. So right off the bat, this sounds nothing like Good Kid, Mad City. There's so much more heavy production and there's so many more features. And the first sample of the song just represents how much black people have to go through to become, even a star, or even like an equal level to some people who are born in a better status. And then he comes into the chorus relating rap to a relationship, saying that at first he did love rap, but now he just wants to fuck, which means that he just likes the instant gratification that hip hop gives him with money. This whole song is about money and perspectives on money. And the next verse, Kendrick talks about how when he gets signed, he's gonna act a fool. He's going to spend a lot of money, he's going to live in that hip hop style fame land. He is forgetting where he came from. He's forgetting about the people he sung about in the previous song. And then he bashes education, saying uneducated but $1 million check like that, saying that you don't really need education. Sometimes it's not as important. But he's not saying to drop out of school. He's saying that that's a problem. That education should be important and he's worried for other kids. And then Thundercat and George Clinton come in and they sing just really simple lines, but they're talking about how America and some people who are racist would say that black people did not deserve and we never should have gave them reprimandations for slavery, which is unironically what people think and is really, really stupid. And Dr. Dre keeps the spending all your money theme and living life in fame going by recalling a moment where Kendrick went to Dr. Dre's house and Kendrick was just infatuated by his house. He wanted that lifestyle. Dr. Dre said, hold on, wait. It's easy to get it, but it's harder to keep it. Verse 2 is a different switch on money. Instead of talking about you wanting to spend it, it's kind of more about America stealing it from you. And in this verse, Kendrick is in the perspective of Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam or Kendrick gives out examples of reprimandations. What you want in a house or a car, 40 acres, a mule, a piano, or a guitar. Anything, see, my name's Uncle Sam, I'm your dog. That line he'll bring up again later on in this album, but those are reprimandations they give back in the day. And then Uncle Sam says, it doesn't matter what we give you, you're gonna spend it all anyway. Uncle Sam tries to lure Kendrick into spending a lot of money, but Kendrick stays modest. And even though Uncle Sam keeps saying, Kendrick, you deserve it all, what's on your Christmas list, we'll buy it. And then at the very end of the verse, Uncle Sam warns Kendrick about paying his taxes. So Wesley Snipes was an African-American actor, and he got caught of tax evasion. So that's why it's called Wesley's Theory. So Uncle Sam warns him, you can buy whatever you want, but you have to pay taxes. And if he does not, then I'll Wesley snipe your ass before 35. Meaning that Uncle Sam is sitting and waiting for Kendrick to mess up. This whole song is about struggling with money and capitalism. Kendrick ends Wesley's Theory by singing Taxman Comin', Taxman Comin'. We all know that part. Signaling that it doesn't matter what Kendrick does, the demands and the needs that Uncle Sam demand are always going to be met and have to be met in order to survive. And I love how Kendrick talks about money and how big of an issue money is and how America handles money, because money runs the world. Overall, Sing About Me and Die of Thirst and Wesley's Theory are easily Kendrick's best two songs. They both take different dives into criticizing America. One's criticizing the neighborhood Compton and about living there, and one's talking about America as a whole and its capitalism and money. For production-wise, I think Wesley's Theory takes it. There's a lot more going on, and I think it's a little more crisp, while Sing About You and Dying of Thirst is very, very lo-fi, kind of chill beat to it. Both have incredible lyrics. I do think that Wesley's Theory has more literal meaning to it. And then Sing About You and Dying of Thirst has more of an emotional meaning to it. So it depends on what kind of mood you're in. In terms of rapping, I mean, both the rapping on these songs are really good. I mean, it's top notch for a reason. But I do like Wesley's Theory a little bit more in terms of Kendrick's rapping, especially when I get signed, homie, I'm like a fool. Like that, the verses are insane. For emotions, I think Sammy Dot destroys Wesley's Theory. I mean, just look at the lyrics. You have to listen to Good Kid, Mad City all the way through and look at the lyrics because that song is so loaded with emotion. I mean, it's impossible to not feel some sort of thing to that song. So I do think that does take the cake. Overall, which one is better? It's super hard to say. It changes day to day. It changes hour to hour. It changes from each time I listen to the song. I listen to Sammy Dot and I'm saying, that's it. I listen to Wes's Theory, I'm like, that's it. I really can't tell. My gut instinct is Wesley's Theory, to be honest with you. But both of them are a viable pick. So I want to know your guys' thoughts on what you think. Which is the better song? And if I'm off the mark and it's a different song, like Black or the Barrier, or You, or All Right, or something like that, please let me know. But if you agree with me, let me know which one is your guys' top and why. These are amazing songs, and Kendrick has so many other amazing songs that you can go ahead and, if you said Money Trees, I'm not arguing against that either. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Peace.